Next story I wanted to talk about is about a guy named Johnny Enlow. Now, I've covered him a lot on my channel, as a matter of fact, but he just released something recently that I wanted to talk about. This clip came out December 3rd, 2021, and he had some interesting things to say about Donald Trump. Let's give this a listen.
People want more proof of what's presently the truth, what's going on behind the scenes. But when there is a fog of war, you can't tell. So you try to tell people President Trump is not as disempowered as you think. And they want proof. Well, the proof will be forthcoming. I think the proof will be forthcoming.
Okay, hey, if the proof is forthcoming, I'll believe it when I have it. Simple as that. Why do I have to sit here and believe your ass with no evidence? Johnny Enlow actually released a clip forever ago, I'm not exactly sure when, where he said, if you don't believe what he says about Donald Trump being powerful still, basically being the president still, if you don't believe him on that, it's basically a test to see if you're a true Christian, and God will punish you if you don't believe him on that. Just keep listening.
That over the last year, ever since November 3rd of last year till now, they will find out that there is not a person on the planet that has exercised more power and authority than President Donald Trump. That will be revealed. And it's been bigger than being, if anything, he made a shift from president of the United States to president of the world in the sense of how he's being used and what's taking place.
Okay, that is a tall fucking claim, and I am going to need a mountain of evidence to believe something like that. He's saying Donald Trump is the president of the world. He made a shift from president of the U.S. to president of the world. Nobody can tell the difference between Donald Trump, president of the world, and Donald Trump, former president, now basically a nobody. We need something to show us that he's got some kind of power of any sort, anything. I'll take just about anything, please. I'm not going to buy a single word this guy says without evidence, though, because he has proven himself to be unreliable consistently.
Now, for those who want the proof, that's why you have to get through the fog of war or be above the fog of war to actually know what's taking place.
Oh, and let me guess, you are above the fog of war, so we have to talk to you to get our information, right? You have special information for us that we have to come to you for. Fascinating how that works, isn't it? That's not actually the only time he said Donald Trump was the president of Earth, though. In fact, he said it late January 2021. This is, I believe, right after inauguration. Give this one a listen and see what he had to say.
So there's all these dimensions the Lord is coming to affect and change right now. And President Trump still has a very active, viable role in that, and he will still step in on the playing field itself. He's even under the playing field. Believe me, God is doing things with him. And I won't go into it more than that.
Oh, please go into it more. Please, I'm begging you. I want you to go into it more. I would love it if you went into it more. Are you not going into it more because you know you're about to stick your foot in your mouth and say some shit that's flat out fucking wrong? Is that why you're not going into it more?
Go into it more than that, but he's not a passive player. He is recognized from heaven. He is recognized as the primary government leader on planet Earth. People need to know that. From heaven, President Trump is recognized as the primary government leader on planet Earth.
Any evidence at all, please. I will take anything. This guy is actually famous for making predictions that failed miserably in the past. This one came out early December 2019, so it was before the 2020 election. It was before it even was coming up, really. Give this one a listen.
And then on March, right when I'm saying that, I have this, it's not an open vision, but it was a vision. And the Lord, it was like, I'm really not interested in your all's vote this time. I'm doing it. I usually give you all that option. This time I'm not. This is a rescue operation from heaven. This is a moment of the ages. This will go down. This time period will go down as a before and after AD, but BC AD, depending on what terminology you use now. And the Lord, it was like, I'm really not interested in your all's vote this time. I'm doing it.
How about that? Isn't that interesting? So this guy basically said, you got to have some real fucking confidence to say something like this. He says, don't even bother voting. God has it in his hands. God has told me that he's going to make Donald Trump the president again in 2020, and you don't have to do shit. You can just sit on your ass and watch it happen. That's it. You have to have some real confidence for this, to say something like this. Basically, to discourage voters from voting, your own voters. I honestly can't believe he came out and said that shit. This is a rescue operation from heaven. So anyways, like I said, the guy has a long history of making unfounded predictions and watching them fail miserably, and then trying to backtrack and explain away why he was wrong in the first place. This is by no means the first time he's said something so fucking ridiculous. In early June 2021, he went on the Flyover Conservative podcast, and he had some interesting things to say on there. Check this one out.
Have you heard any timeline? Of course, that one has to come out. Any timelines at all?
It's the same thing God says, and it's the most frustrating timeline ever. Soon!
That's super interesting because he was saying that God told him Trump was going to be picked as the president in 2020. Trump was going to be president. His voters could just stay home. They didn't have to do shit. God was just going to make him president, and that was going to be the end of it. And then when that failed, he said Trump actually is president behind the scenes. He went the old Jehovah's Witness route of saying it happened invisibly. You weren't there to see it. And here we are in June of 2021, and the guy is saying soon Trump will be president.
Because soon with him is
never our soon.
Never our soon. I just, it has to be this year. And
oh, I love it. I am eating this shit up. I am here for it, man. Honestly, today, this is December 12th, 2021, when this is actually being filmed currently. This is probably going to release somewhere around the 15th or something like that. Yeah, you got, 16 days left there, buddy, before it's over, before it's too late. Is Trump going to be president before January 1st? Oh, please make more predictions. I eat this shit up, man.
We used to say it has to be this month.
Yeah, we used to say it has to be. The deal is we also know natural intel like you all do. And but I have to be led by spiritual intel.
Right.
Okay, let me give you a little secret here. So what he's saying is we know natural intel like you guys do, but you have to be led by spiritual intel. Okay, that's what he said. At no point in time was there natural intel that indicated that Trump was going to take the presidency back after Biden was inaugurated. At no point should you have come to that conclusion from natural intel. Spiritual intel, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't know what you think it's telling you, but your natural intel should have never been telling you that.
The timing of the Lord is perfect in this.
Yeah.
And there are things, it's one of my prophetic friends right now believes there was something that President Trump is so disturbed by certain things that are happening. He's wanting to even accelerate, that he was being tempted to accelerate and doing it faster than a plan that they had. Mm-hmm. And that it wasn't necessarily the way they're supposed to go. And I'm like, no, I agree with Trump. Let's do it now.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Wow, dude. As if Trump would have any self-control at all. So he's basically saying that God and Donald Trump sat down in a war room and made a plan together to take the president. Why doesn't God just snap his fingers and make him president just like that? Seriously, why all this messing around with these plans? And you're gonna, Trump wants to jump the gun and he wants to do this thing and that thing first and blah, blah, blah. Why? Just snap your fucking fingers. This is the dude that can supposedly make it rain for 40 days and 40 nights, help Noah gather 2 or 7 of every animal, depending on whether it's clean or unclean, into a gigantic fucking boat that fits literally every single animal. Make sure they don't die from methane poisoning. Make sure that they all somehow have the strength to build this ark in the first place when nails don't even exist right now. Like, God is supposed to be so incredibly powerful. He can bend the rules of the universe at will. And you've got him sitting down here playing some fucking game with Donald Trump, making some weird little plan. Why doesn't he just snap his fingers and be done with it? I don't understand. It's nonsense from beginning to end. And these people believe it. They believe it. These people invited this fucking guy on to talk about it because they want some insight. They think he has special knowledge that they can access. This is so ridiculous from beginning to end. Dude's not a nobody, though. I forgot to mention this. This guy, ElijahList.com, Elijah Streams, Steve Schultz. The Elijah List is a Facebook group, I believe, that has around 400,000 followers on it. 400,000 followers. That's fucking gigantic. That's bigger than me. That's half the size of David Pakman, basically. Johnny Enlow is an extremely influential pastor and has his hooks in the QAnon movement and in the dominionist/evangelical movement. He's kind of the linchpin between the two. He connects QAnon with the evangelicals. That's why he's so incredibly concerning. And the fact that Steve Schultz from ElijahList.com, with their 400,000 followers on Facebook alone, not to mention how many followers they have on their website or wherever else, Steve Schultz inviting this guy on his Facebook group with so many people is even worse. That is by no means the last clip, though. There are endless clips of this guy saying the same shit like this. Steve Schultz from ElijahList.com had him back on in October 14th, 2021, to talk about Donald Trump being reinstated again. So let's give this one a listen.
Me ask the prophetic people all the time, when's he going to be back in that seat? It's like, if you just knew a little more of the macro, he's doing what he's supposed to. And just to add to that, like, because I just saw it again in the spirit of what I saw a few days ago.
A few days ago. What a weird way to say that, but whatever.
A few days ago I saw a picture of President Trump playing chess again. And he's very advanced. I could tell he's very good in advance.
Why even add that detail in? Why would you even say that? He's very good in advance. Who fucking cares how good and advanced the guy is? You know who cares about how good and advanced Donald Trump is at chess? Donald Trump. That's it. Nobody else on the fucking planet cares if Trump is good at chess or not. Oh yeah, and Trump's sycophants, who follow him around like a lost puppy dog and want to boost his self-esteem for him because they know he needs it desperately. Let's keep listening.
He's very good in advance, but then all the you back up, you see the higher view. God has him on his chessboard. And so good. Trump and his whole board were on his board, and he's actually playing Trump. And he's above, and he's the unbeatable master at chess. And so that's what's always the encouraging thing. And whenever
this dude honestly thinks that this is like a deep metaphor or something. This is ridiculous. He really thinks that this is like on a new level of like creative, like this idea that supposedly God gave him.
That's what's always the encouraging thing. And whenever we feel discouraged with what we're seeing, it means we lack the higher view of seeing what's really taking place.
Yeah, there's that fog of war reference again. What he was saying earlier. If we're disappointed with what we see right now with Donald Trump specifically, then it's because we lack the higher view, the macro view. That's the fog of war reference once again.
If anything, he made a shift from president of the United States to president of the world in the sense of how he's being used and what's taking place. Now, for those who want the proof, that's why you have to get through the fog of war or be above the fog of war to actually know what's taking place.
At what point do you learn to just shut your mouth and stop making predictions? Because you're making yourself look more and more foolish every time you go on the Elijah list. And for that matter, why is this guy Steve Schultz even having him on over and over again? Why does he continue to invite him on? He's been on like 50 fucking times this year. My God. And he's not the only one this guy invites on over and over again. Kat Kerr continues to make false prediction after false prediction over and over again on Steve Schultz's channel. Why? Why does he keep inviting them on every time they're fucking wrong? And he keeps getting them on. They keep sticking their foot in their mouth again and making more wrong predictions. He doesn't care. He eats it up. He buys it. He believes it. And so do his 400,000 Facebook followers. That's ridiculous. Nerical, if Trump is so good at chess, can he figure out a counter to Queen's level 3? I don't think so. I doubt it. In fact, I would be willing to bet Trump has probably never played a game of chess with anybody in his life for fear of losing. He doesn't want to lose. And he knows if he plays, he may lose. I'm honestly surprised he even ran for president.